The area containing SCP-3000, currently a region of the Bay of Bengal, roughly 3,000 kilometers in diameter, is to be routinely patrolled by Foundation naval vessels. Under no circumstances are civilians allowed to attempt deep-sea exploration or diving efforts in the quarantined area. Individuals believed to have contacted SCP-3000 are to be contained, quarantined, and processed at Site-151. Individuals affected by the anomalous properties of SCP-3000 are to be held in containment indefinitely. The Foundation submarine SCP-F-Iramida is to monitor the location of the foremost section of SCP-3000, currently located within the Ganges fan, roughly 0.7 kilometers beneath the bay. The Iramida is tasked with carrying out the ATSAC protocol, and staffing regulations on board the vessel are subject to the guidelines of that protocol. Under no circumstances should any individual interact with SCP-3000 without authorization. SCP-3000 is a massive aquatic serpentine entity strongly resembling a giant moray eel. The full length of SCP-3000 is impossible to determine, but is hypothesized to be between 600 and 900 kilometers. The head of SCP-3000 measures roughly 2.5 meters in diameter, and sections of the body proper are as large as 10 meters in diameter. SCP-3000 is typically a sedentary creature, only moving its head in response to certain stimuli or during feeding. The majority of its body is located in and around the Ganges fan and rarely moves at all. SCP-3000 is carnivorous, and despite its sedentary nature is capable of moving quickly to dispatch prey. Despite its size, it is hypothesized that SCP-3000 does not require sustenance to maintain its biological functions. While SCP-3000 excretes a thin layer of a viscous dark gray substance classified as Y909 through its skin as it consumes prey, the end result of its digestive processes is currently unknown. SCP-3000 is a Class 8 cognitohazardous entity. Direct observation of SCP-3000 may cause severe mental alterations in viewers. Individuals who directly observe SCP-3000, as well as any individuals within an uncertain distance of SCP-3000, experience inexplicable head pain, paranoia, general fear and panic, and memory loss or alteration. SCP-3000 was discovered in 1971, shortly after 2 Bangladeshi fishing boats and 15 fishermen were reported missing after drifting near the Indian coast. As the country of Bangladesh had only been recently established at the time and had been subject to significant political persecution on the part of Pakistan, this incident received high-profile media attention due to fears that it was a result of foreign aggression. Local coastal dispatch units could not locate the missing boats, fueling further media hysteria. Foundation researchers stationed in Calcutta drew similarities between this disappearance and another incident 2 years earlier. A thorough search aided by myriad Pashler counters revealed the location of the 2 boats, as well as an unknown previously undiscovered mass deep below the surface of the Bay of Bengal. Further investigation by Foundation divers discovered the existence of SCP-3000. Addendum 3000.2 ATSAC Protocol. The 151 Hollister ATSAC protocol has been developed and implemented to create a strategy for the management of the Y909 chemical compound excreted by SCP-3000. The Y909 compound, originally discovered by the late Dr. Adam Hollister, is a critical component in several modern experimental amnestic compounds. The inclusion of the Y909 compound has shown a marked increase in the stability and long-term effectiveness of the amnestics. This protocol dictates the way this compound is collected off of SCP-3000 and the way personnel are to interact with SCP-3000. Below is a brief framework of the procedure, and detailed information can be found in the full ATSAC brief. Members of MTF Epsilon 20 Night Fishermen are to prepare a subject for deliverance to the feeding site. One individual D-Class subject is to be administered a sedative, and equipped with a high-pressure diving suit. The subject is then to be tethered to an underwater remotely operated vehicle within the aft airlock. The airlock is to be flooded, and the subject is to be towed by the ROV towards the feeding site. Upon reaching the feeding site, the ROV is to disconnect its tether and return to the Eremita. Throughout this stage, SCP-F Eremita should monitor SCP-3000's position and adjust course if the entity begins to move away from the feeding site. Mission Command will provide additional instructions during this phase if necessary. At a point after the total consumption of the prey, SCP-3000 will begin to excrete Y-909 near the foremost section of its body. Specialized teams of deep-sea divers are to exit the SCP-F Eremita through the aft airlock and approach SCP-3000. Collection of Y-909 must take place during SCP-3000's digestive period, which is currently believed to be roughly 2.5 hours after consumption of prey. Teams must return to launch craft before the end of this period. During this period, the typical effects of SCP-3000 are less severe, though Command should continue to monitor these teams for damage to their cognition. Addendum 3000.3 Psychological Evaluation. On July 21, 2009, Level 3 researcher Venkataraman Krishnamurthy attempted to exit out of the Eremita's aft airlock without diving equipment, but was quickly restrained and the airlock cycle aborted. Despite having a CRV of 26 and having not displayed any previous signs of depression or suicidal attempt prior to his assignment aboard the Eremita, Krishnamurthy was interviewed by staff clinical psychologist Dr. Anant Manava to acquire a better understanding of SCP-3000's potential effect on his psyche.
Hi Venkat, how are you feeling?
Unwell.
That's what I hear. Do you want to talk about what happened today? We don't have to if you don't want to. We can talk about something else.
I'm tired, Anand.
I understand. This assignment has been stressful on all
It's
of us.
not, no. It isn't the stress. I've done this before. I've been on... I don't actually know if I've done this before.
You have.
I don't remember it. Any of it. I've been getting these out-of-context feelings, like my body reacting to reflexes it didn't know it had. Everything is so disconnected, and trying to keep it together is... I'm just tired.
When did you start feeling this way?
How long have we been down here? I don't remember. I don't know when. I honestly don't. I wish I could tell you more than that, but I have nothing. I looked at the place in my mind and there's something else there, or sometimes nothing at all.
What do you mean something else?
I've been having other people's dreams and I see faces I don't recognize, places I know I've never been, or maybe I have. I don't know. How can I know what is real or not when I can't trust my own mind?
Well, maybe I can help you with that, Venkat. We can go over things you think you're forgotten, and I can...
Don't patronize me. I know you felt it, Anand. Your mind gets hazy. Parts of you start to slip. Your memories grow faint, fading in and out until they're gone. Or worse, replaced. You see pasts that aren't yours. Experiences that you never lived. You start to become other people or nobody at all.
Venkat, please, I'm just trying to help.
Do you even know my work before we met? Come to think of it, I don't even remember how we met. I know your name, know that you're a psychologist, but are we friends? Are we brothers? I don't know how I know you. You work together, I know that. I still have that. But other things, they come and go. I know if I'm married or have children. And that isn't the worst of it. I know this is happening to me. I know that my mind is coming apart. But there's something else in there too. Something rising out of the smoke of my smoldering consciousness. That eel.
The eel?
I don't remember my mother. I can hear her voice, but I can't remember her face. I can't remember how she smelled or how she... But what I do remember is she told me about gods. There is a god called Anantashesha, a serpent, the king of serpents, said to lie beneath Vishnu in the cosmos. A six-headed snake god, isn't that something?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Ah, of course. I'm sorry, I forgot. I don't remember much, but I do remember that she told me about how Anantashesha would linger past the end, gaze upon the darkness past the end of time. She said that when the light of the universe had gone out, all that would be left is Anantashesha. I've worked my entire life for the Foundation, so much as I can recall. I have struggled to build my name and my reputation and done everything I can do to leave something, anything, some kind of mark that says I was here, but...
What is it?
I believe that SCP-3000 is an Anantashesha. I believe that this aberration, this treachery against cognition, is the result of us being in the presence of a god. Not just a god, but a god who exists across all time, all at once, and even beyond. Maybe some part of the nothingness beyond the edge of time is part of Anantashesha. Maybe it acts as a conduit, some kind of...
Vinkat, please, we're scientists.
No, let me finish. In defiance of the nothingness that comes after this, all of this, there is an Anantashesha. There is a chance that my memories might live on, that I might be remembered like the memories I've seen have been through me. I don't have proof of this, but when I looked into its eyes and saw what it showed me, I was afraid. I'm merely a mediocre man, and this was a fear that I have refused to acknowledge for years, a fear of irrelevance, that no one will know who I am when I die. Afraid of being forgotten, afraid of my life being meaningless, afraid of being alone, afraid of dying. There is a terror within me that I cannot reconcile, and I won't lie to you and tell you that the Maw of the Naga does not terrify me as well, but between this and the infinite dark I have gazed into, I have made up my mind.